And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Sunday, and you know what that means? It's time for weekly purchases, that time of the week where we investigate what came through the door via DHL, Amazon, UPS, United States Postal Service, FedEx, and of course, the old outlaw, the cagey outlaw of the north, Waylon Jennings. It is truly weekly purchases, and a little bit of a light week this week, a little of this, a little of that. We'll get to that in the back half, but of course, housekeeping at the front of the show here, and we're going to start it off with a little Patreon talk. Of course, month of February, Patreon giveaway, Batman, Robin, Batmobile, Batman 66, Todd McFarlane on the couch. That is the giveaway for Patreon for February. March giveaway right around the corner. Stay tuned for that, but if you want to be a part of the Patreon, check out the link in the description below. You can also sign up as a free member now. Check it out, support the channel. And speaking of supporting the channel, hey, how about time to plug the book? Yes, book plug time. There it is. This is the old author's copy, as they do call it. But this book will be going for sale as of right now. I don't know why it would change, but March 1st on Amazon is when the release date will be. It will also be available at Barnes & Noble in a softcover and hardcover edition at Barnes & Noble. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, those are your big retailers, of course. I believe it could go to other places. However, that's probably going to be the place to buy them at the end of the day. Not going to be at Walmart, not going to be at Target, not going to be at your local bookstore. That's just not the case with this, but it's all full color. As you can see right there, how about a little sample page? Johnny Rods, old friend of the channel right there, old Johnny Rods. But we got 700 pages almost of material in this book. Thick book, a big boy. Unfortunately, a very pricey boy, and I will do a video separately. We talked about it in Toy News yesterday's video. Check out Toy News, a big oversized Toy News this week. But I did talk about it. I will do a video about the book, how it came to be, where it went, how I found time to do the book. I don't know if I did. I just didn't sleep as much. That's the quick, easy answer for that one. But what it takes to do a book like this, obviously, I'm not Stephen King. I don't have publishers and all this stuff throwing money at me to put a book out there, and it is a super niche product. And with that comes, unfortunately, a very steep, high price point, especially for the hardcover. But you know what? I said I'm going to throw it out there. Let everybody sort them out. Follow the money. Follow your wallet. You got to vote with your wallet at the end of the day. And this is not going to be a cheap book. I mean, it cost way more than I would ever imagine a book would cost. And I think that's part of what we talked about the last couple of years on the channel. We've talked about price increases and trying to justify them in our head and come to terms with them. Not just in action figures, food, things like that. Well, we got a nice reality of course, books right here, as it is not cheap to do a book. It's very cheap to do a black and white book or just, you know, writing, no pictures, things like that. But when you add a lot of pictures, you add a lot of text, you add a huge size like this, and then you add hardcover and even softcover, it is a pricey book. But it is one of those books. This isn't just something you read once and you give it away. This is one of those books that is a companion piece for the rest of your life. It fits on your table. It's a coffee book at the end of the day. That's what it is. But it is one of those things you can use as a guide. You can use it as a checklist. You can use it as a thing to find things about. There's a lot of uses for this book to stay in your collection and to get use after use. And it is truly the complete collection here with everything in it. So it is nice to have that as well. But you're looking at a very expensive price point, of course. So it looks like it's going to be around $100. Yes, it's true, $100 over on Amazon for the soft cover. Finding the final amounts on Barnes & Noble. Obviously, the hardcover is going to be very expensive, but if you're a hardcover guy or gal, especially the gals out there, you can get a hardcover over there at Barnes & Noble. Amazon can't even print a book this size with the color and the quality in a hardcover. That tells you how expensive it is to print books like this. Yeah, I could have done 12 volumes and got the price down to, you know, $25 a book. But a lot of people, myself included, want the complete thing altogether. So it is pricey. It is a labor of love. I'm not going to get rich off of this. You know, when you say $100 for this book, oh my gosh, Kyle's making a fortune. Yeah, Kyle might be making $4.67 per book. Think about that. So not going to get rich on this, and once again, it's a labor of love. That's the way this book is going. But there's a little bit more details. Like I said, the Amazon edition coming a week from Friday, or I guess this Friday, I should say, March 1st. Stay tuned to that. Of course, social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and Instagram, and both YouTube channels. Links will be up there, my Facebook, all the usual places. It'll have links for this. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So there it is. A little bit of book talk. But how about the week that was on the channel this week? A lot going on the channel. We got Jack's Class Superstar. Speaking of that, we did our weekly Jack's Class 6 videos. Doing those videos all the way through the end of 2025. 99% of them are up on Patreon and have been for a year plus at this point. So there is a lot of Jack's content on this channel, as you guys do know. All summarized in the book. How about that? Super 7 Turtles, the latest and greatest wave. Man, if you bowed out of that Turtles Super 7 wave, this could be the one to bring you back in the game. Some heavy hitters, some amazing figures. Wingnut Screw Loose, absolutely amazing. Scumbug, amazing. Slam Dunkin' Dawn, amazing. Flock Splinter, amazing, and Zach the Neutrino just kind of there. That's kind of how it breaks down for me. But we unboxed all those on the channel this week. Check those ones out. We did Ronda Rousey, Liv Morgan, the latest and greatest Championship Showdown. We unboxed that this week. Scott Hall, the Monday Night Wars. We unboxed that one. Grapplers and Gimmicks, King Mabel, and Men on a Mission. Unboxed both of those on the channel this week. Elite Series 107. We did the rankings of the entire wave from my least favorite to my favorite. Check that one out. 2 videos from the t-shirt collection in honor of my wife and I, our 14th anniversary this year here. 20 years together at the end of this year, but 14-year anniversary just the other day. Put 2 more t-shirt collection videos. The rest of those up on Patreon. Of course, we unboxed King Spawn. Oh, McFarlane from the couch. I know, Todd and I didn't get along in that video. Check that one out. There was some rough banter between us. Usually we're just star-crossed lovers. This time it got a little tense. It got a little tense. Intense. Tense, intense, homage. Watch the video, find out more about that. Check out King Spawn. Sabu, top 5, very timely with the Epic Toys release. Did the Sabu top 5. And then, of course, weekly figure hunt all over the place. A lot of travel for work. Got to be honest with you guys, I'm extremely busy at work every single week. I say it all the time. I work 60 to 70 hours a week at my day job. A lot of people think I just do YouTube full-time. I wish I did YouTube full-time. Somebody write that check to me, and I will. But can you imagine how much content I could put out if this was my full-time job? Can you think about that? I've never really thought about that. It would be wild. It would be wild. It would be like Wild and Crazy Kids from the 90s is what it would be like. Just like that. Just like that show it would be. But I have been very, very busy. So getting stuff done, getting there. But some of the videos, especially for Patreon guys, you're usually getting bombarded. You're just getting, 3 or 4 videos a night instead of 6 videos a night. Maybe something like that. For at least a little while. So bear with me. Bear with me. There it is. Of course, Kyle Peterson 2.0. We got the second YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that one. Steel ×2. Oh, Steel ×2. We got the regular and platinum edition. We unboxed Superman, Big Hand Superman. We unboxed him over there. Mr. Freeze Entertainment Earth exclusive. Mutant Mayhem figures. And, of course, Krang, our Turtle Tuesday unboxing over on the channel there. So we did all that. I also did a few media appearances this week, and I got a few more to come over the next couple of weeks. I'm doing the circuit on some video cast, podcast, of course, promoting the book, talking about the book. So if you got a really good show out there that you feel I'd be a good guest for, hey, send on the invite. You know how to get a hold of me by this point here. But I did do the wrestling figure news this week. Shout out to Justin, a local guy here, which is really crazy. 2 collectors living so close to each other. But we did do that video, or we did do that podcast, I guess, audio this week. So check out that review if you did miss that. Many more of those to come over the next couple of weeks. Some exciting ones as well as we ramp up for the book official release from Amazon and Barnes & Noble and maybe some other places. We'll stay tuned on that. I'll, of course, let you know as I hear and find out. But a lot going on with that. About another month or so, we'll be all dust will settle. We'll be moving on. Got some other huge projects in the works. I think some you guys are going to absolutely love. Much, much more on that. Hopefully later in 2024. But man, I'm a guy full of surprises. Some really cool stuff coming. Stay tuned here in the future. So that's it. That's a little housekeeping. Now we got to turn our attention to the question of the week. All right, time for question of the week. And you too can be question of the week. Put in your question down in the comments of this very video, and you could be question of the week next week. And this one comes from viewer Angie Peterson. How did you get so attractive? I might have just made that up. Maybe. I don't know. Fact check it. Somebody if you want to. No, the real question of the week this week, Tyrell White 8062. Shout out to Tyrell White. Jesse Ventura's son? Maybe Tyrell White Ventura? Could it be? Could it be a conspiracy? I don't think so. But Tyrell asks, what is the most expensive item you bought for least amount of money? That's a good question. We all know about got to get a deal. We got to get deals out there, and I'm no different than the majority of people. Even if I have something, you say you're at a toy show or a toy store or a garage sale or wherever you might be at, and you see something that's like, holy cow, this is worth a lot of money, and they only want $2 for it, you're probably going to jump on that thing. However, I was very, very fortunate. I guess I have two examples, and they're both around the LJN toy line of recent years. Now, a few years ago, there was a raffle, and we've all probably familiar with these Facebook group raffles, things like that. I don't do any of that stuff. I am not a gambling man by nature. I work way too hard for my money. I hate to gamble it on something like that. But it was my birthday, and I saw this, and one thing I was missing in my collection was the Sergeant Slaughter Hasbro LJN. If you guys know the history of that, you know the history of that. I was missing it. I was convincing myself, saying, well, it's not technically an LJN. I have a complete collection. I just don't have the Slaughter. Not an LJN, so I have a complete collection. It's all about justification at the end of the day. But there was one of those events where it was like 200 people, like $5 a raffle ticket, and you got to, and they spun it, and if they landed on your number or your name, guess what? You won the figure. And I put $15 in, I believe was the amount, and there was 5 things raffling off. So you had an opportunity to win a couple of things if you didn't win one or whatever. Well, long story short, I put my $15 in. They spun the wheel. Guess what? They pulled my name. I could not believe it. I think that was the last raffle I ever did and the first raffle I ever did. But I got the Sergeant Slaughter Hasbro LJN for $5. So that was quite the one. But it didn't end there. They spun it again. Guess what? I won on the second spin as well. I won a mint-on card autographed Bobby Heenan LJN. So I didn't win the third time, unfortunately, but for $15 for those two, I think I made out like a bandit at the end of the day. And then another one where a local toy store here around me, JCD and Hobby it's called. You see them in my toy hunt videos. I went in there one day, and one of the figures I've been looking for, kind of like the Slaughter, I didn't really count it, but it is a variant edition, I guess is what we'll call it, with Bro Kirshner with the real beard, if you guys are familiar with that one there. A very pricey one, pretty rare boy in the LJN world. Well, they happen to have one at the toy store, and I think I got it for something like $11, and that is a very pricey figure in this day and age, so that was a major, major find. And I've had a lot of other ones, but those are the two that kind of jump out in my brain. And I guess I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Of course, ask your question of the week, but what was your best deal? That's a heck of a question by old Tyrell right there. So there it is, the question of the week. Now we turn our attention to the weekly purchases. All right, let's get down to the weekly purchases. Only one big round of weekly purchases this week. A fairly slow week, all things considered. Anticipate next week to be fairly slow as well. We'll see what happens there. Of course, we're coming out of Chinese New Year, so things should start wrapping up a little bit, or I should say ramping up a little bit here in the future. But we'll see what happens. Always good to give that old wallet a break from time to time. You guys know how that is. We all know how that is at the end of the day. But the first purchase I can't bring to the table. It is that big, and I give you a special shout out to that backdrop guy, of course, on Instagram. We've used him. We've talked about him before on the channel. He did, working with me, I guess, help me design a floor for my Masters of the Universe tabletop. As you guys have seen that in the Eternia video and some things I've been working on. I did order a floor through him. He helped me design that, and I got that order in, and it did arrive this week. So much more on that in the future video as we build out my Masters of the Universe Origins collection. Easy for me to say as we build that one out. We got to give a special shout out to that backdrop guy. If you need any of that kind of work done, he is the guy to hit up on Instagram. Tell him your old buddy Kyle sent you. But I did get that. More on that in the very near future. But let's kick it off here. Let's go through some stuff here. Do we go wrestling first? We'll go wrestling first. And I already unboxed this one on the channel. You guys saw that. See you later. Goodbye. Scott Hall, of course, Monday Night Wars. Unboxed Scott Hall on the channel already, so check that video out if you did miss that. Couldn't wait to get Scott Hall out of the package. You know how that goes. But I did get some new basics this week. Let's see. Basic 145. Old Kane right there. Got Kane through the door. Throwing him around a little bit. Series 146. Kevin Owens, KO himself. Got Cody Rhodes, Series 143. We're all over the basics map right here. Cody Rhodes, good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes right there. Seth Rollins, of course, from right down the road from me. Series 141. Got that crazy glittery suit. We're here for that. Sami Zayn to match the Kevin Owens. 145. That's why I picked these up. They have their WrestleMania shirts. I was at that WrestleMania. I thought it would look cool, have these guys displayed together. So I did do that. So we got Sami Zayn through the door. First time in the line. Last time, I don't think so, but we got Ludwig Kaiser, 145 through the door this week. And from Series 145, I believe, isn't she Ludwig Kaiser's girlfriend, boyfriend? Aren't they in a relationship? It's Tiffy time right here. Tiffany Stratton right there as well. So some basics through the door this week. How about that? But I wasn't done with wrestling stuff. Ringside collectible mystery boxes. I'm not a gambler, but apparently I am. I did order another one of these. I needed to get some cases here, and I did get a bunch of the Mattel retro cases here for my retro mid-on card collection. I needed to buy a bunch of these, of course, so I said, you know what? I'm going to throw in one of these ringside mystery boxes. We'll see what is inside of here. We'll do an unboxing on the channel. Not going to hold my breath. So far, the two I got prior didn't really do anything at all for me. It was pretty disappointing in all actuality. Hopefully I get something I actually need. Stay tuned to the channel. We'll unbox that in a future video. So stay tuned for that right there. But besides that, I did get a couple of AEW Chase cases as well just to have. So some fun, not so fun. I mean, fun to get, but not really as fun as getting an action figure. But you got to always use protection. That's for sure. That's for sure. But we continue on with some more wrestling. How about this one here? We already unboxed this. The Grapplers and Gimmicks, of course, Men on a Mission. We unboxed that on the channel this week. Same thing with King Mabel. We unboxed both of those. Check out old Hasbro toys if you're into those. And then I did get some Epic toys this week. I did get the British Bulldogs. So we unboxed Demolition. We unboxed Powers of Pain. Now we're going to turn attention to the British Bulldogs. Look for this review in the next couple of days as well. So shout out to the old British Bulldogs. Retro figures, running wild, running fast, running hard, running free, like a young Rio? Maybe. I did get this one from Amazon this week. They had a flash sale, and I said, you know what? I'm going to pick this one up. It is from the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Oh, hopefully they found it. But it is Storm, and I got this and have my eye on this for possible use with Merman going forward, as I've never seen an Aquaman movie. But we'll see what goes on with this one. We'll unbox this one, maybe on Kyle Peterson 2.0. A lot of McFarlane stuff's on 2.0. Yes, it is, Todd. That's where we put it all. You knew that. Just keep wiggling them feet over there. But we will be unboxing this on the channel. Stay tuned to that. And speaking of McFarlane, you guys know me. I use Entertainment Earth a lot. I look every single day at the hot off the truck, usually about my time, late afternoon, early evening. That's when they put the hot off the truck stuff for the day. I don't pre-order a ton of stuff. I just waited for it to go hot off the truck. Put discount code Kyle in. That's what I do. And then I save 10%. And then, of course, over $79, you get free shipping. So got to get a deal out there. It's a game of pennies. It's a penny business. I'll never forget my early working career. One of the old managers put his arm around me, and he smelled. Man, that guy needed to take a shower. But he told me, Kyle, one day you're going to learn it's a penny business. And I just like, man, I'm in my 20s, and I already know more about this business than you do. He was later fired. Hard times for that guy, but I'm still here. I'm still here, so I know what I'm doing. But I knew it was a penny business across the board. It's a game of pennies, especially action figure. If you can save $1 here, $1 there, $1 over there, guess what? All adds up at the end of the day. So there you go, pro tip right there. But long story, long way to get there. I did pick up some things to help me get free shipping in Entertainment Earth. And this Scarecrow figure, normally I wouldn't buy this thing. It's not my Scarecrow. It's a little goofy. But for $5 shipped, I said, you know what? I can do this. So I got this Scarecrow for $5. Got Barry Allen. I might have to complete this Darkest Night. I've got two of these figures very, very cheap. This one was like $4.97. It's got a little crack in the top. I got this very cheap as well to help get that free shipping. So I did get that one. And then possibly my least favorite McFarlane figure. I've seen this one bouncing around stores for years. It was down to, I think, $2.97 on Entertainment Earth. Old General Zod. This isn't my General Zod. Give me the movie General Zod. But I did pick up 3 of these really cheap that helped me get free shipping at Entertainment Earth. And you're probably saying, what did you get free shipping for? Well, it was the Super 7 White Ranger. So we got the White Power Ranger here. Needed this in the collection. Now we have it. Got to get free shipping out there, and that's exactly what I did with that. So we will unbox him on the channel. Stay tuned very soon for that. But we weren't done with McFarlane. I jumped ahead a little bit. I did get the Batman from Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. I got this from Todd's McFarlane Toy Store. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, Todd doesn't want to give me a coupon code or anything else. He also, Todd, I don't know what's going on with our relationship here. I tag you in all these videos. Can I get a thumbs up? Can I get a little bit of an acknowledge of my existence? Am I going to have to go to San Diego Comic-Con and give you a big hug in person? Is that what we're going to have to do in front of everybody? We might have to. We'll see what happens with Todd. It's getting crazy over there on the couch as 2024 rolls on. But speaking of McFarlane Toy Store, I get the exclusive here. Limited to 8,100 pieces. Yes, you heard it here first. Nightmare Edition Batman. we'll see what all the fuss is about with this one. Once again, over on Kyle Peterson 2.0, make sure you subscribe to that channel over there. You're missing out if you are not. I also got another one this week, finally through the door from Masters Universe Revolution. We got old Bill Shatner himself, Keldor, and I'll never forget Bill Shatner. There was one night I was I think just out of college, and I had just started dating my wife. Shortly after college is when we met. And we were at a bar. I think it was called the Beaver Tap, if I'm not mistaken. And we were sitting there at the bar. I was drinking a Jack and Coke, I believe it was at the time. I think she was dining on maybe a mimosa. I'm not sure what she was up to at the time. I'd have to ask her. But we were sitting there at the bar just hanging out. And all of a sudden, this old man comes sitting up next to us. And I'm like, what is going on here? I look over, and I didn't think anything of it. But then I heard that voice, that unmistakable voice. And I said, am I watching Rescue 911? And I happened to be watching Rescue 911 on the TV at the bar. But then I said, wait a minute, that's Bill Shatner. And then I looked over again, and guess what? It was actually Bill Shatner sitting there at the bar. It was unbelievable. And I said, Bill, where you been? And he said, well, Kyle, and I don't know how he knew my name, but he said, well, Kyle, I'm from Riverside, Iowa, you know, Captain Kirk, and I was in the neighborhood to visit. They're having a festival there. I was going to sign some autographs, and the rest was history. And then we finished our Rescue 911. Somebody can fact check that story. I guess I got to get my wife here for that. But at the end of the day, shout out to Bill Shatner. Shout out to Keldor at the end of the day. But we're not done yet. We got a couple of things left. We're almost done, though. This is pretty much the end of the road, like a young boys to men. But shout out to good brother, good friend of the channel, longtime supporter of the channel, John Thurmond. He sent me a little gift in the mail that really made me smile. I couldn't help but laugh when I got him in there. But he did send me some Rio cards. Oh, shout out to my girl, Rio. Never change, never leave. Got that Rio card. Got Rio just looking only like she could look, of course, right there. Looking good and then on the back. All 87 pounds of her, looking amazing. When your 9-year-old daughter is bigger than than Rio, it's crazy. Well, maybe not my 9-year-old daughter, but you know what I mean. But there's old Rio, and there's Rio at the glamour shots, looking good as well. So shout out to Rio. Shout out to John for sending those to me. They're going to be very funny for me to look at. I'm going to have these right here at the desk. So Rio, always just a little look away at the end of the day. So shout out to John. Shout out to Rio. Then the final piece of the puzzle, a little music purchase this week. Had to get this. You know me. I'm a day one buyer. You know my favorite band of all time is Motorhead. Got the collection of the Lost Tapes, 1 through 8. 1 through 5, I can't count, but 1 through 5, got the latest and greatest box set. Got this from Amazon. All in on everything Motorhead, you know me. I did sell the majority of my CD collection. However, Motorhead is something I'm never going to part with. I got all the Motorhead stuff, and that continues with this box set. I've heard all these already, but can't wait to listen to them on CD. Gonna bust out the yellow Jeep and the Wrangler for the summertime. Still got a CD player in there. Gonna play those all summer long. So there it is, weekly purchases. What about you guys out there? You get anything good, anything fun this week? Did you sit at the bar with Bill Shatner? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell so we got videos every single day. And then some. You know that, and then some. We got 3 videos every single day over on this channel, and then Kyle Peterson 2.0. We usually got a video every single day over there as well. So there's a lot going on. Make sure you subscribe to both channels. Thumbs up both videos from every single channel as well. That always helps the channel. And don't forget about Patreon for early access to all the videos and your best way to support this fair YouTube channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. Sir Paul64 on the X. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads. And on Instagram. And you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way to another work week.